Yeah, thank you for the opportunity to host you guys tonight and share a bit about what we do. As you were saying, Raf, who's kind of our director, founder, he was at one of the meetings last year, but yeah, that was before the car was common knowledge. I don't even know if we found out about it at that point. He can't make it tonight, unfortunately, so apologies on his behalf. So I'm a design associate here at the Academy. I'll go through kind of about what we do and I'll keep it brief just because I know time and I'll bore you with all the details. I'll try and tailor it a bit more like M8 specific because I know that's probably the real reason, or one of the things I want to learn heaps about. And we've also got Mike, who's part of the team over back as well. So yeah, I'll go through some of that stuff. We're going to work through a lot of this slide deck as well, just to keep it short and brief. And then yeah, questions at the end. Please let me know. Right, so yeah, basically in short, the Academy, so we're a formal partnership between BMW Group in Germany and then the School of Design at QUT here in Brisbane. And basically kind of our little bio is that we're a design hub for advanced learning, cutting edge research and R&D projects, focused on the application of emerging technologies. So things like virtual reality, augmented reality, artificial intelligence, autonomous systems, robotics, things like that. So I'll tell you a little bit about the three programs that we're kind of structured and work around and what each of those do. And I'll talk about the M8 as well and kind of like why we have it and what maybe we're doing. So this is the team, or sort of a couple of guys have just finished this year actually. But basically Raphael, top left, myself, Mike, got a couple other designers working with me as well. Mo and James have just finished their respective roles. Next year, we've got Alexandra starting her PhD with us and hopefully another design associate or two as well, which will be really cool. So slowly growing the team. And in Germany, our key contacts are Jimmy and Dylan. So Jimmy helps Raf set up the Academy, in kind of the Raf equivalent in Germany. And then Dylan is QUT alumni, industrial design as well. He was the first design intern that we had from QUT at BMW. And he now works in Germany. Works, which is the new BMW Group subsidiary. We'll talk a little bit about as well. So that's a team that stands at the moment. We have other departments and areas within BMW Group that we work with and have contact with. These guys are the main two. So just a very brief summary of some of our achievements. So 2015 was when formal collaboration was kind of initiated. Dylan had his internship in 2016 and the whole BMW internship program. So we send students from QUT here over to Germany to work in different BMW teams. That following on from Dylan's internship is what really helped establish the Academy. If we didn't have that success there, we would have been able to set up the Academy now and do what we do basically. So then following years got more serious, so MOUs and contracts signed. 2020, we launched the Academy officially, early 2020, just before lockdowns, which was heaps of fun. So we were based at the Gardens Point campus originally in an office, just one room, and now we have two spaces at Kelvin Grove Campus here. Yeah, earlier this year, we moved here, we unveiled the spaces and announced that we have the car as a resource for students. And since 2016, we've had 26 interns accepted into the BMW internship program. That number is actually at 35 now, so we've got 8 about to go over next year. A 9th is TBC at the moment, but another group now. The last couple of years we've been on pause for obvious reasons, so it's really good that we can continue that now. Basically last year BMW were emailing us saying we're itching for interns and send them over. We had to hold off a bit just with QT support and all that sort of thing as well as my child restriction. Alright, so the 3 programs that we have are internships, research and special projects. So while they're each their own thing, they're obviously all kind of linked. So the 2 spaces we have, we call Alpha Studio and Beta Lab. So Alpha Studio is our office downstairs. It's kind of like a normal design studio, essentially. We've got heaps of fancy computers and tech that allows us to do the projects that we are working on with BMW. And then we've got Beta Lab, which is here, which is kind of our hybrid workspace, presentation sort of space. And that's obviously home to the M8. So it's really good that we have these 2 spaces now. QT is really supportive of us, being very generous, giving us this room. Kindly paid for the renovation in here as well, which is really nice, which I think really shows off the car as well, which gives us much more presence. So the elephant in the room, or the big black car in the room, is the M8. So we were given this car, so the university was donated this car by BMW on the premise of it being a research and design tool for students at the university. Basically, the only instructions were you have to destroy it in X amount of years when we say so, and you can't drive on road or a test track, which is obviously the real one. Obviously, really disappointed about that one. But other than that, they're really kind of relaxed in terms of what we use the car for. So obviously, for us being part of the School of Design, there's so many different projects we can do with the car through undergraduate design projects, and basically embedding access to the car throughout all the different units that we have. And then also like PhD and master's programs as well. So some of the design projects, so basically breaking down the car into all the different elements and kind of parts and all the different things that make up such a big kind of object in machine like a car. So materials, manufacturing, ergonomics, aesthetics, test bed for like applying emerging technologies or some more conceptual stuff as well, and using this to prototype or understand how you might go about some of those things. Obviously, a lot of the interaction and infotainment stuff as well. There's a lot of opportunity there. Interior, exterior, vehicle design, all that sort of thing as well. So there's so many different things we can do, and a lot of that can be teaching fundamental skills for like first year students, and then some of that can be the more advanced stuff for like third year, final year students as well. So we've got a couple of units that we've had a bit of access or in contact with this year since we announced the car, but at the moment we're trying to basically expand that reach and do more with different disciplines and areas within QUT. So, for example, outside of the School of Design, there's the Games Design unit, which is part of engineering faculty. We've got some projects and things going on with them, so slowly leading up, very good. And then research projects, a lot of that's a bit more like forward thinking, things like advanced wearable and haptic technologies, interaction and experience design stuff. It doesn't necessarily have to be automotive design, it can be mobility in general. Or it could just be that the car is a good tool to understand some of that stuff, or use it as a platform for testing those technologies and different areas, whether they're maybe not mobility related, but using a tool like this allows you to kind of understand some of that stuff. VR, AR stuff, and then more infotainment, interior design, things like that. Obviously, there's a big shift and push for like autonomous cars, which quite sad to be honest, but things like that as well. So there's obviously a lot of opportunity and areas to explore within those topics, which is something we can use in Harvard as well. There's just a couple of photos from the video shoot that we did last year, which we showed off early this year when we announced the car. I'll show you the video just because the production quality is amazing, and there's lasers and cool stuff. So I'll show you that at the end, but yeah, obviously like you guys know, it's a pretty good looking car. Plenty of photos on the website as well. Right, so first program is internships. So the little byline for that one is fostering design excellence. So the internship program is kind of in two parts. So the first one is the BMW internship program in Germany. So sending students, either undergraduate or just graduating students from QUT over to BMW in Germany. Next year, we're going to have a couple in Hansel in the UK as well. And basically, they go over, do these cool projects, learn a heap of skills, they come back, and there's sometimes opportunities to work here in the academy, like what I did, for example. But most of the time, you just come back with new skills and knowledge, and it makes you kind of more well-rounded designer. And those skills are obviously really transferable to different kind of industries and jobs wherever they end up. It may not be kind of mobility or like robotics, tech sort of stuff like what we're doing a lot of, but basically anything really. So we kind of developed this advancement track. So it's not essential, but the idea is that students do an internship with us at the academy here as well. So that's the second part of the internship program, is internships in the house here. So students do that through their units as part of their degree. They get credit points. They get to do these cool projects as well with us. So the idea of them doing the academy internship is they learn some of the core fundamental skills and can upskill a lot, which is A, transferable to the rest of their studies, B, industry when they graduate, but C, and really importantly, is gives them a leg up for the Germany internship program if that's something they want to do and they get accepted into it. So the idea is basically streamlining and kind of making them more well-prepared and well-equipped for the Germany internship program. So it's less of a dive in the deep end, basically. So that's the middle part of it. And then, like I was saying, sometimes there's opportunity to come back and get a job here at the academy, or if you're Dylan, I was talking about before, you get a job at BMW in Germany. So when he finishes internship, you got a call saying, come work for us. He ended up getting a lifetime contract, which is quite common for people at BMW, but in Australia, it's not really much of a thing. So it essentially means you get a contract and you have to really stuff up for us to get rid of you. Basically, you're going to leave on your own terms. but he's now with Idealworks, which is a new subsidiary, so not BMW anymore technically. So these are just some of our academy interns we've had. So we started it in semester 2, 2020. Every semester we take 4 students. That number is going to keep growing, obviously. So the guys in the middle there were the ones that just finished with us. We've got another 3 doing a summer internship with us as well. So we keep adding to this number, which is really good. And the projects that we write or develop for them, there's kind of a range there. So some of them are more like industrial design or graphic design, sort of general ones. Others are really niche or specific ones, so like 3D modeling and rendering with like really specific skills. We've also had some students work on projects with one of the kind of entertainment digital products teams. So doing some app design stuff, so with Mini, which is really cool as well. They're live projects as well, so they're actually influencing some of that, most of the time internal apps and systems, but sometimes customer facing stuff as well. So it's a really unique opportunity for students. So yeah, the idea is we basically help them grow and develop those skills while they're here with us. So the BMW Group interns, these are the different teams that we've got students going into or have worked in previous. So Idealworks was actually a team within BMW, but then it kind of became its own subsidiary company. Tech office, robotics, autonomous systems, infotainment I'm working on because I think it'd be great to have students in there. Motorrad is TBC at the moment, hopefully, fingers crossed. And then Hansel in the UK, which is the engine plant. So a lot of the projects are around like digitization and innovation topics in the logistics manufacturing areas. The Motorrad one, if all goes well, we'll have someone in like the purchasing business sort of position. We were really close to having someone in the design team and it didn't work out, unfortunately. So we're going to keep pushing on that because I think if we can get QUT students in the design team in BMW, that's pretty amazing because normally it's very like closed off and really hard to get into. So that'd be really good. So yeah, these are the students we've had so far. I need to add in the photos of the students that are going over next year, obviously. But yeah, 26 accepted. There was a couple of students that were given the green light to go, but weren't able to make it just with lockdowns and international travel. They kind of just missed it off. But yeah, so last kind of batch that we had was I think 8 students accepted, and then yeah, next year will be a minimum 8 that we have sending over. Yeah, so this will be all full. So these are some photos. So a lot of it obviously you can't photograph or share, just some projects and confidentiality stuff. But obviously students get to do kind of factory tours or they get to do projects in the factories, presentations. We also highlight that photo on the bottom left there. That's Dylan and Daniel presenting to Oliver Zips, who's the CEO of BMW. Pretty big deal for some random guys from Australia. It was funny because Daniel was like they asked to cut his hair and shave his beard off. He didn't like fit the image. He declined obviously. But yeah, it's really cool that students have these opportunities. Tim, who's one of the guys that works here, he presented to the board of directors as well. He had to fill in for Dylan. So he understandably was quite nervous about that. But yeah, just really cool opportunities basically. The next one is research. So exploring new knowledge horizons is the little kind of byline there. So masters and PhD projects. So things that align with QUT and BMW interest. So because we're part of QUT and QUT is very research focused and driven, that's one of their priorities. We have these requirements in terms of outputs for PhDs and master's projects that we have to fulfill. So that's where this fits in. But obviously BMW benefit out of it as well, especially with the really like forward-thinking and conceptual sort of projects. So the main sort of areas, there's topics under each of these, but these are the main areas. So there's robotics and human-machine interaction. So that's looking at like logistics, manufacturing applications. HMI stuff, that's a bit more mobility focused, like just mobility as a whole, not necessarily cars. And then the last one is design thinking. So basically the application of design skill sets and those sort of methods and perspectives in large companies and how different teams who may not have designers traditionally can benefit from those sort of students or people basically. And then the last one is special projects. This is something else I work on. This one is basically support for different teams that we work with at BMW. So they'll either say we've got a whole project that we want you guys to do. So we do it, send it back, and it's happy days. Or they'll say we need a bit of help with this, like we're doing most of this, but we're going to outsource this little part of the project to you guys. So we help out with that. So mostly it's been Idealworks and the tech office sort of teams, but we're doing one with Hamster now. So the main project, or one of the main projects we did for a special projects area was the IW Hub robot. So this is the core product that the Idealworks company sells. So basically, it's an autonomous robot that essentially does the job of a forklift. So it drives underneath dollies, picks up big containers of car parts, moves it around. The really amazing thing about this robot is that it's fully autonomous. So you give it a point A and a point B, and everything that happens in the middle, it works out on its own. It's not an AGV, which is the robots that Amazon, for example, use, where it has like a line or a magnetic strip on the ground it follows. This thing can go anywhere and anywhere, unless you set like boundaries or speed limits, that sort of thing. So it's really amazing. So the AI tech in it is what we've been helping the guys develop basically. So to train the AI, you need a digital twin to train it on, so that you're not putting it in the real world and it's not taking out your ankles or crashing into things and causing disruptions in money, etc. Put it in a digital environment with all these realistic 3D models. It can learn, what a forklift is, what a container is, or what I need to interact with, etc. And then they basically upload that to the physical one, and then it can go out into factories, and it's ready to go.
Yeah, how many hours machine learning?
I don't know that exact number, but it would be a lot for sure, definitely. And this project started 5-6 years ago inside BMW, and then it became so kind of successful and grew so much that that's when BMW created Idealworks as its own company to develop and sell and make these robots. So Idealworks sell these back to BMW to use, but they're also selling to like third-party logistics companies as well. So we've had a lot of involvement with this one. We modeled the entire robot down to like nuts and bolts and all the silly things. Did all the textures and the renders and everything. This is what was used for like the press releases and the website and all the marketing. So this is something we had a lot of involvement with. So this is like the brain of it that has all the tech in it, the AI tech. It uses NVIDIA GPU, so NVIDIA make like computer chips and the other things as well. So they've got a partnership with that company. Other projects as well, so like the 3D asset creation, so creating all the models that go into the digital twin to be used. So a lot of vehicles, random things like boxes and pallets and basically anything that you would find in a factory, we've pretty much modeled it. So kind of the other use case for this now is, the machine learning AI stuff, and then the digital twin, which BMW is also really invested in at the moment, and they're using that for like factory planning and simulations and trying to make everything more efficient and cost effective, etc. So there's different use cases for having a digital twin. But obviously it all starts with having that 3D environment and the 3D assets that fill that environment. This was another Idealworks project we did, just a configurator. So there's a few other things we've been involved with as well. Basically, anything they ask for us to do, we'll do it. At the end of the day, they're paying the bills. So, it's really cool though. Like super interesting projects, very unique. Whenever anyone asks me what I do for work, there's always like got to give a bit of context about the background and the partnership, but then I can tell them about all this stuff, and everyone's really amazing, which is awesome. All right, I'm going to stop talking now. Basically, I'm just going to finish up with. We have a website, LinkedIn, Instagram, monthly newsletter, etc. So if you want to learn more about us, look through the website or register for the different things. But yeah, otherwise, thank you for listening, and I'll hand it over to anyone who's been any questions.
The BMW Group and QUT Design Academy is a unique partnership between one of Australia's top-ranked universities and the world's leading premium automotive company. Today, we're announcing a new and exciting milestone for this partnership, the endowment of BMW's premier luxury supercar on one of their most sophisticated machines, the M8. This vehicle will allow us to achieve some of our most ambitious goals across research, teaching and education.
We will embed access to the car throughout industrial design and other courses, so current and future students will have the opportunity to learn from the latest technology in the automotive world.
The M8 will allow us to explore many exciting and emerging areas around human-machine interactions, advances in interface technologies, the next generation of vehicle design, and what the user interface will look like in an autonomous future.
Students will be able to work on projects that incorporate the M8, honing their skills in sketching, interior and exterior vehicle design, materials and manufacturing, plus how to integrate interactive technologies.
We feel incredibly fortunate for BMW to trust us with access to this kind of technology, and it underscores what QUT Design can offer a company of this caliber. And as a BMW car fan, having one of these to play with is incredibly exciting.